Hey, I'm ElusiveKev. Welcome back to European Truck Racing Championship, FI official video game of the European Truck Racing Championship series. This is the final video for the 20th and final episode, as we're finally going to complete the World Series, and we're going to just wrap up our thoughts on this game as well. And first up, I thought I'd just show you through all the menus again in case you had forgotten, as we've got career, we've got quick race, we've got championship, time trial, events, which did not last long, multiplayer, which did not even begin, did it? It really, I've tried to find multiplayer sessions from when the game got released. I could find nothing basically on PC. Maybe I had better luck on console, but at least on PC I had no luck at all, really. And then, yeah, she's got the showroom, which is pretty cool. And then you got your stats as well, so you can see my stats here. 69 podiums, nice. 56 first place, 7 seconds, 2 thirds. Time played is a bit wrong. Let's let me that a minute. But then I've been, according to Steam, I played for 20 hours. So I'm not sure where that time played come from. Distance travelled over 1,000 kilometres. As you can see, there are my multiplayer races. They haven't done split screen. 135 penalties, 1,435 collisions caused, tiny amount. So you've got championship win in both World Series and the ETRC. As you can see, we've done quite a few races at Hungary. And then, as you can see, we've been in our second season in the World Series, so we've done 52 races in total. But we're about to head back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for 4 final races. So that's pretty cool. You get the credits as well and the options. So this option I've been running mostly with overheating brakes on. I'll talk about that later in relation to the patch. And see, I'll turn most of the HUD off. Then video. So there's the split screen, as you have vertical or horizontal. And I go with high settings, medium, don't like bloom, don't like motion blur. I think I've gone off bloom after the MotoGP game, thanks for that milestone. And then key bindings. You can change key bindings, but actually the default ones I had were what I needed. And there's sound as well. Got rid of the music because, of course. Then I can just delete everything and start again. And you see we're with version 1.03 of the game. Which doesn't make sense because 1.2 patch just came out. And they did update on Steam. I had to wait last time before playing it because it had been a while. So I don't understand why it says 1.03. No, I do need to update it again. Anyway, let's get into career then. And as you can see, we've got the license, which I do like. It's a good introduction. 15 solid tests here. Way of difficulties. But it does show you all the basics of truck racing. Basically what you need to be successful in this game. And you've got the European Truck Racing Championship based on a World Championship. Then the World Series, a fictional championship. I do appreciate that they've tried to cram in a bit more content here with racetracks from all around the world. With slightly more powerful trucks as well, especially when you turn off the limiter and don't limit at 99 kilometers per hour, or 99 miles per hour, sorry, it does go much quicker than that. It goes up to like 125, I think is the top speed, of 130. The European trucks go up to like 125 actually, and the World Series trucks go up to 130, so they're slightly more powerful beast. But I thought before going into the game, I'll just explain again. Career dash, you got the standings. It is pretty cool kind of system here where I'm just scrolling along on the old D-pad. I can look at all the round settings. And again here as well, you can see how I've been a bit up and down in the first half because again we had that patch and you saw in Laguna Seca I was struggling a bit. But I was like, I figured out why. And why the last patch has kind of ruined the game slightly. So the 1.2 patch. Whereas you can see in the stands, we've won the championship with 97 points ahead of Pina. Then you've got Diaz, Emir, Brad Harris, Joe Whitelock, Lee, Johansson, Tremblay, Sara down in 10th, then Mertens and Gabriel Silva. And as you can see, we're alongside Matsumoto. As you can see, team morale's through the roof. Objective of 5th, we smashed it. Full season contract, reputation's gold, profit is a good business winning, and it was showing the stats as well. We've basically won everywhere. So we can cancel a contract, we can not go to Indy, we can go to the garage. As you can see, we've got everything up to level 4. I was going to show you the upgrade system in this, but I had the gearbox fully, and I think the turbo as well. All I've had to do for these is just do the reliability. So for brakes, I'm not sure I can do it now. Gearbox, oh here we can. So you can upgrade, which is, I believe, actually less than a repair. Or you can just repair. So here we go, we repaired the gearbox. Brakes, they're fully repaired. A turbo you definitely need to repair as well. So take that out. And then suspension, tiny bit of repairs for that. So we are fully repaired now. So the upgrade system is actually a bit disappointing because it's very easy to do if you win just one round. You can do all the upgrades to your vehicle, even depending. You do have different upgrades. Say for this truck, I think it was the gearbox which was strong. So brakes need upgrading. I said suspension, turbo's all right. But then you have some trucks where the turbo's a bit weaker, or the brake, or the gearbox, so you have to upgrade those a bit more. But again, it's way too easy. At least put it up to level 5. Give it a bit more of a challenge. And again, challenge is a big problem with this game. But then see in October, nothing to do. Did I figure out if these practice sessions, should I say, between races, so we have one here at Circuit de Mesa, did they do anything? No. It doesn't seem like it at all. I thought it might tie into the upgrade system, but it doesn't seem to have done that at all. It is just practice, it looks like. That would have been cool. Maybe it is. Maybe I just didn't figure it out, but it didn't seem like it was doing anything for upgrades. It just put more wear and tear on our parts, which just led to us repairing them a bit sooner. That's it. So let's head to the home of the Indy 500, or the oldest circuit in the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, home to some of the US's most popular motorsports. It's certainly a fan favourite, built in 1909, 110 years old, doesn't look a day over 20, does it? It quickly became one of the most famous circuits in motorsport. It's the focus on speed that differentiates Indianapolis from anything else. It's a straight and tight turns, pushes vehicles to their limits. One thing, I do quite like the intros. So you see it here, look at the old Pagonda, looking down the circuit as well. Decent crowds. It's a bit like the F1 crowd where the stand's like half full. And yeah, you do get the pan-in shots, a bit like Automobilista, except they actually pan down, as you can see, but almost as the kind of still images, more like. So yeah, this is nice intro. Intros are nice. That's a thumbs up. And I've been a bit pretty negative so far, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so you get a look up the old 33 leaderboard. Only has 6 trucks up, there were actually 12. One of the things that is disappointing is that in the show we get this long list of drivers who could be on the grid. It's just limited to 12 trucks per race. I'd have liked to at least seen it, say if you do a quick race, expand it a bit more to like 16 trucks, but it's limited to 12 trucks for anything, for career, for championship, for quick race. So that would have been something that would have been nice to change. So you can see again, we can upgrade or repair in the garage. Tuning does make a difference. So brake bias does make a difference. It is a bit different from stability to corner. Stability is very stiff. You can't lean on the brakes as much for turning, which is actually pretty helpful in these trucks. Like you're trail braking quite a lot into the corners, and yeah, it just makes the truck very stiff. You feel high up as well, because I believe you've got suspension quite stiff. You've got the ride height a bit higher. As you can see in the background, the truck has just gone up. So if I go back to cornering, You can see in the background, you can barely see in the background the truck's gone down. And we've got brake bias more towards the rear, so that will help get that rear end out, help again with the rotation in the corners and the trail braking. And I've not figured out what the anti-roll bars, if they're useful or not, because that's the one part of the set I'm not really sure on. Dampers and suspension definitely are very different. As you can see, we've got toss suspension. Again, helps with corner entry. That's much more important than stability, I find. Like, you need to get that rotation to get more that time. That's why you'll probably see me using lots of curb, lots of even grass as well. Not gravel. Gravel slows you down, but you'll see me abusing the two, half the truck over the track, over the white line. You'll see me use that quite a lot. And then you have the in-between, where you choose the in-between setup as well. You've got the balance setup, but there's in-between setup that I like using between the corner and the stability, which has that stability slightly higher wide height, but has that rotation beat on them as well. That seems to be the best setup. But for quickness, I just mostly chose cornering setup. Balanced is kind of in between, but it's just not as good as cornering, and it's a bit too much like stability. You might as well have stability if you're going balanced, so yeah, cornering. But if you choose a mixture between the brake bias, the suspension, and then a bit of the dampers as well, so you got damper 0 there for compression. You actually need a bit of dampering, it feels like, to actually be good. So that's why we choose halfway between this setup and the cornering, and we have kind of our custom setup. Unfortunately, custom setups can't be saved. Again, that's kind of a basic feature, it feels like, of racing games now, so that's a bit disappointing to see. But it does follow the rule structure. There is a variety as well in Quick Race, where you can set up, kind of treat the weekend slightly, I believe, or in Championship, should I say. Actually, no, it's these 4 races, I think. But yeah, you can have from 1 lap to 10 laps. As you can see, points different for races 1, 3, 2 to 4. Weekend structures followed to the T. In the career, I would have liked it if you could skip practice and qualifying like I've been doing. You have to manually do that for each round. And again, you can change just the rules as well. We haven't done Super Pole, so you can get rid of that of these, but you do still have qualifying. And then, yeah, got the Grammar Cup as well, so that is followed. Prize money, penalties, we'll talk about those in the races. Dead heat, I don't think that's actually come up, has it? But in classes, yeah, you do get the Chrome class and the Titan class, and that is the standing. So you don't have the Grammar Cup rules in the World Series, but you do have that in the main European Championship, so it's good that's been followed. So as you can see, I'm having to go into practice and retire each time. So if there's just an option in that first menu just to skip sessions like they have with MotoGP, in the MotoGP games or in other racing games, that would have been nice. But instead, yeah, just got to retire. Or you can just manually set up in the menu, in the calendar menu. Like again, they have in the MotoGP game, which is pretty handy. So retire. And again, for qualifying, you get 2 laps in qualifying, and yeah, we have to retire again. Again, you can just adjust the options as well, as you can see. So that's pretty good. At least they got that in. And so let's get to the racing. So you do get the intro here. You don't get Deep Voice Man. Deep Voice Man was probably the highlight of the voice talent in the game out of 2. So we could definitely love Deep Voice Man. I do like the rolling grid, and you get it at the bottom as well. Yeah, just a shame we don't get Deep Voice Man for the World Series, but yeah, you do get them in the European Truck Racing Championship. And with just the 12 joys, you do get a bit of rotation in between seasons. Like we had a slightly different grid from last season compared to this. And so yeah, you do get this old animation, which is alright. I don't mind it at all, like, skips through the formation that. Don't say that's an option, Again, that would have been nice to have a little option if you just want to go around on formation that sort of this. But yeah, let's get beginning for a 3-lap race and talk about the racing, as other voice talent not that good, and post patch as well. Post 1.2 patch doesn't seem to be as good as well. Like, she just comes up with phases in the final 10 seconds of a race, which makes no sense. Like, you can go for the win even if you're second by 5 seconds. Let's get out of it. So yeah, it seems to have, like, the voice talent wasn't that good anyway from her, unfortunately, from your crew chief, and it's just got worse post patch. Let's try and battle on this opening lap, and you'll see one big issue with our opponents. They don't know how to follow a line.
Don't give up.
One thing that needed to be patched was our opponents. They did do something in the last patch for them. They made them have a slightly better gearbox, so we're in 3rd gear. The acceleration in 3rd gear is better, so it's very good round twisty circuits such as Winton. Like, you get a bit more of a challenge, but you're just waiting for them to drive offline. They're very under-tested, unrefined, your opponents, as you're seeing. And battling with them is a nightmare, because you don't know where they're going half the time. And as you can see, they have no spatial awareness, they just drive into you. So we're getting hit, but we're just on their track. They don't race you. They can race you, but if you just end up on their piece of track where they're programmed, they just hit you and ram you off. And that was a big frustration in Winton, actually, because the tight twisty circuit trying to force moves there, and you just get rammed off, especially at the start. There you got a couple of tight corners. So yeah, our opponents are very undercooked, and it's very disappointing because this is the mostly single player game. As I said, there's no multiplayer. This is what you're going to be playing most of the time against these opponents, and it's not good. Not good at all, unfortunately. And there's also a difficulty, like, you got up to hard, as you've seen. There's also extreme difficulty for quick races, where they're slightly quicker, but they still drive all over the place. It's too easy. Plus, I put a bit of video on here, well, after this pass, where I found glitches with our opponents now, post-patch. I honestly don't know if they tested the patch, to be honest, or they just chucked it out as like, yeah, we've done something now. Quit complaining, because I'm finding lots of issues post 1.2 patch, which came out on the 13th this month. And we've been waiting ages for a proper patch for this game. Like, it came out mid-July. We got a patch at the end of July, which was just fixing the language issues for China and Korea, and fixing things such as leaderboards, as once again we get driven into. And yeah, just fixing minor things with the game. It was really like a hot fix rather than a proper patch. Fixing out like prize money for winners, actually showing the right amount, but there's still a glitch in career mode about that, which I've noticed. Especially when you buy upgrade parts, it just glitches and shows random figures on the screen. But yeah, we've been waiting, what, 3.5 months for a patch? And what we got has actually made the game worse. Like I said, it's a theme for this game, unfortunately, that it is just undercooked. Like, it feels like it was rushed out. Let's say with how way our opponents are, and this last patch has just made it even less fun, unfortunately, for someone coming from a sim racing perspective, or someone who's just looking for fun presentation of the European Truck Racing Championship, who loves his truck racing. Like, I formed the truck from Reza Studios, which was headed into GameStop, Kart Stream and Automobilista. Love the trucks and those. Don't mind them in Forza, not the biggest fan of Forza though. Like, especially with the Forza hand in this console generation. Like, the trucks are okay. But yeah, this patch, it's done it for the AO. It's fixed split screen, seasonal reputation. So reputation is a bit fairer on you. So though, updated the font. It's made it a bit rounded. What do you call it? Embezzled, isn't it? Around the edges. You can see that slightly. It's not as flat now. Updated localization. Updated gearbox setup. So that comes into our opponents as well being very good in third gear. But the biggest thing, and the thing that has kind of ruined the game, unfortunately, I decided is they reduced the water in the tank. As we finish 8th, not good, but we'll be on pole for the second race. As we're aiming for a 100-point victory. We're almost there. Podium's okay, just basic animations though, which is nice it's included at least. I don't know why they're wearing helmets though. Again, that might just be a budget thing. And the proportions are slightly off, like their heads are massive compared to their bodies.
That was a good move.
I'm in pole, you don't need to tell me that was a good move. I've not overtaken no one. See? Crew chief is not that good. I know that's a big criticism of this game as well. But yeah, the biggest change from the last patch, the amount of water in the tank was reduced to make it more of a challenge, they say. The game was already a challenge with the water in the tank. It was a good balance. I could play with overheating brakes on. I could play 50% races, and just about, if I manage my water, get the truck to the end, that was a challenge. Now it's just, as you saw in Laguna Seca, I couldn't even get the truck past the halfway mark. That's because my brakes overheated due to lack of water, because you run out of water after a lap, maybe a lap and a half at most, in every circuit I've driven in this World Series. So like Winton, where you got 4 laps, because I'm doing at 25%, it can maybe go a lap and a half. That's the longest. Most of the time it's half a lap, like at the Circuit of the Americas where you do 2 laps. Because it's a very long circuit for these trucks. Or for most, where you got 3, it's maybe 2 laps. Like at Fuji, I managed to make it to end of 2 laps out of 3. But you can only use the water for 1 corner. That's it. Per lap. Instead of having to, you have to use it to stop the brakes from overheating. You have to use it for a couple corners per lap. At least I was doing it, and now you can't do that. As you saw in Laguna, your brakes just overheat. And I can't do it more than 25% because, as I said, you run out of water after a lap. So goodbye long races. Goodbye turning on overheating brakes. It's ruined perhaps the biggest selling point of this game, which is that management which they had put in the license, which they've marketed as well, which is a big marketing point for the game. They've thrown that aspect of it with the last patch. So now you're stuck. I'm at least stuck to 25% races. Turn off overheating brakes. I mean, I could probably do 100% races now, turning off the overheating brakes, but again, coming from my perspective, more sim racing perspective, it ruined a big aspect of the game. As I said, it was a good balance between challenge and fun, having the challenge of managing the brakes. There's a glitch. For some reason, trucks stop randomly now on the second lap. I'll show you the clip now of from Argentina when I raced earlier this season. Trucks just stopped on the start-finish straight. And I've also had it in practice for this race where I did an expert difficulty race, and on the second lap they just stopped again at that spot. And on the final lap as well, heading into the corner at the end of that back straight, where they're actually reversing in a corner. So I don't know if they randomly stop and then reverse to get back online, or if they just slowly get back online. But if you look behind, the guy in second was actually pretty close. Now, there's no one around me. Oh, there we go, second, they're finally appearing because I've slowed down, but the gap had kind of doubled because of that interference. Again, taking away the difficulty and showing how undercut our opponents are, unfortunately. But that's only been happening since this patch. So it's taken away one of the main aspects of the game. It's made the random glitches, it's made the crew chief even worse. I don't know what good the last patch has done. At 1.2, but I don't know what. Maybe it's made the font slightly nicer than look at. Localization might be better for some languages. Haven't really noticed the seasonal reputation because, as I said, they've been doing quite well, so I haven't really noticed if it's going to fix it. And we still have lots of problem with our opponents, with
Try to hold your position.
With, as I said, incorrect figures when you upgrade parts. Like, at least it's slightly more competitive. As you can see, they're sticking to my tail here when I'm not really trying, to be honest, but they're sticking to me because of that improved gearbox with third gear. Well, yeah, it's just the patch has not done much good, so you can't really manage the water, you can't manage your brake temps, it's overheat. Here we go again, final lap, someone's just on the racing line, stuck. So yeah, I don't know why they reduced the water. It was finally balanced as it was. It was okay, it's good, I thought. Obviously not. So yeah, brakes overheat way too easy. Like, I've got no water now, I think, this race. Yeah, I've run out of water at the end of the second lap. Even though I used it three times. That's all the usage you've got now for water. When it used to be a couple times per lap. You're on the balance of the water managing the brakes, and that's disappointing. That's very disappointing. Even if your opponents are slightly more competitive now, as especially around twisty tracks like Winton. And I found around Mosport, I was easily ahead of them still because they just can't run the line. So there we go, over 100 ahead. So we've talked about post-patch, talked about the game modes that are available. Career is alright. As I say, you begin with the license and you go to European level, then actually you can choose to just start at world level or start at European level. You actually got choice there. That's good. Like, I like that you do have to do the licenses, but you can do World Series or European trucks. So that's alright. But yeah, it is. Like, the structure of career is probably more promising than actually what career mode is. Like,
Behind. Try to catch up.
I say you got those practice days for no reason, it seems like. Like, even though you got the garage and the upgrading parts, it's just an unsatisfying because there's not too much depth there. It just feels like it was chucked in. And you get full season offers. And a mixture of part-time, so that's good in the off-season. But you can cancel your contract as you've seen, so that's alright that you can maybe change. But yeah, it's just a bit slightly flat maybe career. Like I said, I wish there was more you could do with those practice sessions rather than just drive around aimlessly. And there was just a bit more depth to the upgrading, just a bit more upgrades. Like, there's a bit more
Try to catch up.
building up your truck to being very good. Like, I do feel a slight difference from the upgrades, like the truck is slightly quicker, but just not enough for me as someone who mostly plays single player and careers in games. Like, it's nowhere near the level of, say, a WRC or F1 game, for instance, but I don't expect it to be either. Just expect it to be fun. But if you're going to put a system in, such as upgrading, I expect just a touch more. Just to make it a bit more like you're upgrading during a whole season rather than one weekend, basically, or two. And the seasons aren't that long. You got, what, 7-8 rounds? Yeah, let's try and sneak by here. Once again, I'm just on their line, so being pushed towards the gravel. So yeah, I just wish there was a bit more to career as.
Try to pick up the pace.
As we're being pushed. There we go. So yeah, I just wish there was a bit more to career. But at least, as I said, you got decent options for championship and quick race. Like, you can turn off penalties as well, turn off the limiter, which is pretty fun. These trucks, because the handling is alright. Like, it's not meant to be sim. It's aiming for more arcade. But it's in that place between kind of Forza, which I find a bit unsatisfying handling wise, but way below Formula Truck. But it's got the characteristics, it's got the heaviness feel, it's got the difficulty under braking, it's got that these things are massive, so they're difficult to fight and race with. So at least they've got that feeling coming through, and yeah, it's good fun landing, I'm finding. Like, it's what I expected from a game from Big Ben, which is, they got lots of sports titles. Most of them are rubbish though from Big Ben, like the rugby series, unfortunately, or the handball series as well from a few years ago. But with Kiloton, they've improved massively on the WRC series of games, and this is from the same engine as that series. And it's done by N Racing, which I'm not sure if it's a totally new studio or if it's linked with Kiloton, but apparently it's their first game. And it shows, unfortunately, the final product. Like, the first WRC game wasn't good, WRC 5 was not good either. But this game feels like it has a base to build on for future games. I'm just not sure if they'll be given the time with the European Truck Racing Championship series, like the WRC license has been given to Kiloton to growing, expanding to a very good title. That's the WRC8. I hope it does, because as I said, the handling's alright. Like there is, it's got the basic functionality correct. Like with career, I think could do with the practice, like make that for upgrading your truck, like make those upgrade sessions like they do with MotoGP games, for instance. That'd be cool. It's cool. We're out of the points this race of the early contact. As everyone heads towards the finish line in front. So yeah, the most satisfying thing I've found in this game when racing these trucks is just a quick race, limiters off, turn off overheating brakes as well, turn off penalties. Penalties are a bit random. Like you have this system where sometimes you've got bollards on the inside, and if you hit them like after two times, you get like a 10-second penalty. Another time you get a 30-second. I find I get the 30-second much easier though. Like after 1 or 2 hits, I can get 30 seconds. So it's a bit inconsistent how it's related. Maybe I'm not just noticing how wide the truck is on hitting the cones. It just like feels inconsistent. Same with the collision system. Like with our opponents all over the place, line-wise, if I get hit by them, I can get a 5-second penalty. Just by driving in a straight line, get hit by them. Because they're all over the place. Yeah. I can also pit maneuver them at very slow speed. Like I can turn them around and get nothing for that. With an intentional pit maneuver, I'll try and do it. And I'll show it off. So let's dive it down the inside here. So that's a deserved 5-second penalty. So sometimes it works out alright, but I try and get alongside the truck in front and try and manoeuvre them round. I'll show that. Here we go. So now I can just drive me into the gravel, get nothing. Oh, I got it wrong. I go. See, that's cool that you can get the back end out. I just said the physics got that feel of driving the truck. Like fun feel of driving the truck down. Okay. So let's see if I can do this right.
If you see an opening, go for
God's
it.
sake. Now I don't want a pit maneuver, I can't do it.
That was a great overtake.
I just find most of her lines sarcastic. That was a great overtake. Not sure about that. Here you go, this is probably our best chance doing it. So there goes our wingman. That's a nice little touch, so that actually gets broken. He gets it. Bit plain looking, but still, nice little touch. And so we go, first corner, we'll do it.
Keep going. You can win this race.
You can probably guess the overall difficulty again of the game, not the highest, because we can try and do this. We're still on the top 5 as well. Oh, that actually gave me a 5-second penalty. Okay. But you can do it at slow speed into a corner. Just gently turn them around. Get nothing. So finally, as I've only got graphics to really talk about. So I add another coffin fit, not totally over. cold yet, but yeah, graphics are perhaps as you would expect from an indie title. I know big publisher, big bend, but small team working on this. First proper title, it's not gonna blow you away graphics wise, but it's alright. As you can see, got everything in. Inside we've got a steering wheel, it doesn't align as you can see with my steering inputs. Got 540 rotation, but I've got 900 on the wheel. So not lining up. And the gauges don't really work apart from the main one. But you do have different cockpits for different trucks. At least the speedo works all the time, so that's important. And you do get the pressure readings as well occasionally. So it's not all bad. Animation to change gears a bit slow as well.
Keep going. You can win this race.
Like it's a second or two after you change gear, but
One lap left.
you get it in WRC game as well. You see when I use cockpit mode, you get slight delay. Same with F1 games, it's much better, but you're gonna get in every game slight delay. But iRacing's probably one of the best one I remember. For lack of delay. Lots of balloons as well in the sky. I don't know why there's obsession with balloons in the sky in sim racing games or racing games in general. So yeah, graphics not the most memorable. Same with the sound as well. But you don't get all the nuances, but you do get the deploy of like water and stuff, so it's nice little touches there, but it's as you would expect. Even though the sound is very loud in the game, like I got it 100%.
Okay, focus.
Probably want to play at half that level. Like the volume, like the master volume level probably should be around 50. Like the sounds are very loud, but you also get a few different views to play in if I remember the right button. That's looking left and right, so you can do that. I got a 3-second penalty. What's that for? Corner cutting? Or if you get that for like minor cuts as well. Oh, I got my wipers. You don't get a horn. Big downside. You get in automobility, you don't get it in this game, a horn. Run out of time. Oh no.
Opening, go for it.
Congratulations on becoming the World Series champion.
Deep voice guy. We hear him. As you saw, I did get the pause menu up as well at the end. Replays. Show that off. So you get basic controls up to 4. And slow it really down. For those stunning screenshots that you want to capture. We may be waiting a while. No, I just want to get the right angle, you know, so. Okay, we might have to. There we go. And then if I get rid of the interface, there you go. That's pretty okay. Pretty average. Not the best, unfortunately. But you get different angles. So you got booty cam, and then you got kind of the TV camera cams as well. You only get a couple of angles. You do get a couple of the onboards as well when you actually play through. Just trying to hold the screenshot. So play. Some of the buttons don't really work as well. Here we go. Change camera. See, change. Oh god. Change camera actually gets red. Opponents, okay. So yeah, if I do not want to play control, let's speed up. So it's just 3, isn't it? So you got helmet cam, then off, rear cam, rear cam. So you get a couple of different views. Helmet cam's alright. Then you got normal cockpit cam as you saw, then closer kind of cockpit cam or dash cam. Then a couple of third person views as well. So if you just exit, that restarted it. There we go, exit the replay. So the presentation's okay, as I said. UI is okay, it's got the pop, tile system that seems to be in almost every game now. As from the back, Gabriel Silva down there, Mertens, Anthony, Tremblay, Sarr up to 7th in the end. While Brad Harris ran at the top 5 on home turf ahead or behind Amir, Diaz, Pinart and ourselves. As we only win by 88 points. Mission failed to win by over 100 points. And so yeah, morale's through the roof. Credits, points.
Congratulations on completing your first season. Here is your season review.
It wasn't actually our first season, but okay. As you can see, there's all my race results. Very up and down. Lots of earnings. This is actually correct now, I believe. There were issues as well with this. Figures
That was a good season. The team would like to extend your contract for another season, if you're interested.
Not really. Yep. I can't cancel my contract, can I? So we restart the season then? No. How happens? I said no. Hang on, have I broken the game? Hang on. Yep. Oh, so this is what happens when you reject a contract then? Oh, I just pressed the wrong set. You need a full single driver team in order to access. We can race in the European Series, I guess. We go back to the World Series. So there's my stats. That's probably an option to say reject rather than what I just did. But yeah, that is the European Truck Racing Championship FAI official video game of the series. Overall, just felt rushed out, especially with our opponents. Gameplays could be much better. Physics is okay. I do get feedback through the wheel as well. It's very limited. It's, not as, sim-like. But yeah, you do get, especially when you're braking, you get a bit of that kind of feel through, so that's okay. But yeah, it's fun handling. Probably one of the top aspects of it. As I said, especially when you have unlimited trucks, that's definitely a top aspect. Turning off the limiter, having fun with these trucks around, say, like round Motorsport or around, I've got to remember the circuits now. So we've got like Hungary Speedway instead of Hungaroring, which I prefer Hungary Speedway to Hungaroring. Like that's a good fictional circuit, but yeah, say around like Bugatti, that's pretty good. Bugatti Le Mans. Good to see like a Rama as well. Circuit rarely seeing video games unfortunately. Same for Winton as well. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, Fuji, Buenos Aires. the Indy Road Circuit. Indy Road Circuit's weird because, as you can see, the layout is a mixture of the IndyCar current layout and the F1 set, because they have turns like 4, 5, 6, 7 from the F1 layout, when the IndyCar circuit just has a fast chicane onto that back straight. Now, I don't know the thinking behind that. I don't know why they've had the mixture of the layouts. Maybe it's a way to get around the license. But they also sold Indianapolis only free for the first week. So basically, if you got the game when it released, now it's on sale for £4 I think, because DLC. Probably would be better if it was just free with the game, especially at this point. But yeah, you got Masano as well, which is pretty fun. Some of the circuits are pretty weird with layout, like Laguna is pretty weird. Mosport as well. It's got the elevation like going up, but the radius of course is just very off, like the geometry of the corners. Like same with already Fuji. Fuji's not too bad. There was another circuit which really bugged me as well. I don't think it was Winton. Maybe it was Mosport as well with those sweeping turns. Like it just felt very off. Yeah, Indy's okay as well. So yeah, some of the circuits are a bit weird. And as you've seen, these are all the names. But you can only have 12 drivers on the grid. So you got around, was it 25 names here? If I can count correctly. So that's 15. So that's 16, 17. You got 20 names, and you can only have 12. So do you get a revolving kind of carousel of names? So you get same here as well. And these are mostly like official drivers as well from the European Truck Racing Driver Championship. So you got, was that 20 names there again. You can have 12 on the grid. Bit disappointing, but the overall, I might have recommended the game before the last patch. Like, just fun to drive the trucks around. Post patch, no, and having that, balance of managing the water and everything, that was pretty. I would say that's pretty fun for me, and I found it a good balance, good challenges. So I try to make that water last and not overheat the brakes. But now that challenge is gone, not sure I could actually recommend this until they release another patch in, I don't know, 3 or 4 months' time. So it was fun for the most part, European Truck Racing Championship. I just wish you came out after a few more months, years of development, and it was a much more complete experience, especially having it on multiplayer, having fun with that. It's just a shame we couldn't really find anyone to play with. But you've got split screen as well. You can try and search. Come on, is there anyone online? No. Rejected immediately. But yeah. And I don't know what was wrong with Event. I was only up around for like 1 or 2. I think it's just around for when they had the official races, like for those weekends. So yeah, I wish we had events a bit more as well. Just to had a tiny bit more variation in interest in coming back to European Truck Racing Championship. But after like 20 hours, I'm done. I could have got almost all of the achievements as well. So yeah, that's kind of your level kind of play with this game. So shame I can't recommend it. As I said, there's a base there to be a good game. I just wish, as I said, more development. And hopefully they do have, a second title come out maybe next year. If this one was popular enough, and they can maybe build on this and kind of learn lots of lessons from this game to build on as well. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you in another game.